On the topic at hand, for the past 2 years, I have had an opportunity to lead a public institution where economic development and environmental protection issues are confronted and dealt with simultaneously every day. Ministry of Environmental Protection and Regional Development of Latvia was established in 2011 when to curb administrative expenditures, two separate ministries. One for protecting biodiversity, reducing pollution and preventing climate change, and the other one for regional economy, territorial planning and local governments were merged into one. Today it has turned out to be a very interesting combination. Although primarily a cost-saving move back then, it also gave an opportunity to explore the synergies from ecologists, recycling specialists, water and waste managers working side by side with regional economists, planners and experts on local governance issues. For an example, when regulations to limit water pollution are introduced, it is important to make sure local authorities have the legal and economic instruments to implement such regulations. On the other hand, when economic gains of maritime spatial planning are considered, it is crucial to be certain it is not done at the expense of the environment. Taking into account aforementioned, it is my firm belief that our ministry is especially well suited to deal with the topic at hand here today. One of jobs and ecology. Make no mistake, in the long runs, the task of maintaining a healthy rate of job creation lies within the realm of private sector. The task of government is to identify the obstacles that might prevent this market-driven process to function effectively, rather than to interfere directly. In the field of natural resources, environmental protection and ecology, in my opinion, three such potentially beneficial areas for governmental and intergovernmental involvement stand out. First, I very much agree with Stiglitz Commission recommendation on the need to properly account for the sustainability of natural capital when economic performance is measured. Second, some public support for research and development to foster technological innovation in the field is necessary. Last, but probably not least, promotion of sustainable lifestyles that to some extent would limit the need for economic development might also be beneficial. Talking about specific political initiatives that I have introduced during my tenure, I would first like to point out Action Plan for the Development of Latgale region. It's a region in Latvia. The plan was adopted in 2012 and focused on entrepreneurship and job creation in Latgale, economically least developed region in Latvia. Similarly, as the EU strategy for the Baltic Sea region, the Latgale plan does not have its own financing and relies on existing funding sources. The ministry is responsible for overall coordination of the plan, but line ministries, local governments, as well as NGOs are very much involved in the implementation process. Council of European Union, in its conclusions on added value of macro-regional strategies adopted in October, underlined the need to pay more attention to the effective implementation of multi-level governance and mobilization of partners aimed at implementing EU policies at macro-regional level. I very much agree with the Council opinion on effective multi-level governance being essential for successful implementation of the strategy. Although in a much smaller scale, we have achieved good results in this respect in Latgale. While developing the plan, we made special effort to involve general public and interest groups like SMEs, youth, etc., that are often less represented in such processes. After the adoption of the plan, I have also tried to provide continued political support at the national level that has resulted in local authorities committing to the overall goals and taking ownership of the plan. Well, the focal points of the Latgale plan were economic opportunities and development. Environmental issues were the backbone of the Green Vision for Latvia, another key initiative proposed by the ministry during formation of National Development Plan for 2014-2020. We saw smart and sustainable development and prevention of natural resource depletion as some of the underlying concerns that Latvian people could rally around. However, the initiative prompted heated discussions with both environmental activists and business leaders. Recently published Eurobarometer report on attitudes towards biodiversity in the EU member countries helps to illustrate the situation. 86% of the respondents in Latvia believe that damage or destruction of protection areas as a result of economic development should be prohibited or only acceptable for projects of major public interest and if damage is fully compensated. A minority of respondents, 11%, believe economic development takes precedence. These attitudes are in line with the views in other EU member countries, but comparing the recent results with the data from 2010, one can see that the number of prohibitionists plus 5 percentage points, as well as economic developers plus 6 percentage points, has increased in Latvia. Of course, the environmental activists and business interest representatives are more vocal in open discourses than general public. So maybe, among other things, we should concentrate on designing joint projects for these two groups that could lead to both better environmental practices and jobs for the people. That's all for now. It remains for me to wish a fruitful session here to everyone, and thank you.